and welcome to this special broadcast on the ICC World Cup final between India and Australia, a shot at glory. As the cricketing world holds its breath, India has set a modest target of 241 after being put into bat. In the mid-inning show, we will dissect India's chances of defending this total and delve into intricacies of the Australia's inning. Our team of experts will join us on the show to analyze this high-voltage clash at the Narendra Modi Stadium. Here, we will unravel the drama, the strategy and the pursuit of cricketing excellence on this grand stage. So, let's get started. So in the summit clash of the ICC World Cup, Australia restricts India to a modest total of 240 for the loss of 10 wickets at the Narendra Modi Stadium in India's western city of Ahmedabad. Mitchell Starc took 3 wickets while skipper Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood dismissed 2 batters each to halt India's progress. Earlier, India got off to a rollicking start after Cummins won the toss and elected to bowl. Captain Rohit Sharma led from the front after Shubman Gill was out cheaply. India reached 76 runs in less than 10 overs as Sharma waxed the Aussies' attack. He was dismissed for 47 runs in 31 balls. After that, Australia also snared Shreyas Iyer quickly to peg back India's scoring rate. Following this, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul stirred the Indian innings. Both the batters were dismissed after scoring half-centuries. Rahul top-scored with 66 runs, but after Rahul's dismissal, none of the Indian batsmen could weather the Australian attack. So to analyze the India's inning and to take a perspective of this match, we are joined by our team of experts. We are joined by Ajay Mehra and Anil Thomas is also joining us. Ajay, 240, do you think this total here at the Narendra Modi Stadium is defendable? Can India defend this target?
Well, Narayan, it's a final. It's a big game, and in the finals, it's going to be pressure chasing as well. And if there is no dew, I feel the Indian spinners will definitely come into play. Yes, I do understand it's probably 30-40 runs short of the surface. Had India got around 275, would have been a really good score. But I still feel, that India have the bowling potential. Jadeja, Kuldeep, I feel are going to be key. And also for the seamers, we saw the Australian seamers, the pacers, the way they were using those cutters. So definitely, if you're bowling in the right areas and there might be some help. I also feel someone like Rohit Sharma or even Virat Kohli might just roll his arm here. So, we saw in the last game as well, Australia, were almost, they were playing and struggling against the spinners. We saw against South Africa in the semi-finals. So I have a feeling that this serve is going to turn. But, the dew comes around 88-30. So before that, I think Rohit Sharma will have to bring on his spinners. And I feel the spinners are going to be the key. Now, this score, India have to get Australia all out, to put that pressure on them. So the important factor, Narayan, is going to pick up wickets here. But I still feel, India, because it's a crunch game, it's a final, the pressure will be on Australia as well chasing. So probably 30-35 runs short, but still India have got those spinners in them and quality spinners as well.
So India, as Ajay said, India is 30-odd runs short here. Anil is also joining us. Anil, if you take a look here, we are hoping that the kind of form the Indian batsmen were, we are hoping that it would be around 300. But do you think really the conditions were tough or whether Indian batsmen batted poorly?
Well, I think you got to blame the batsmen the way they went about. It started right at the top after losing that early wicket. The over that Rohit Sharma went, 10 runs had already come from the first 2 balls. Trying something like that, you've taken the opposition apart in the first 9 overs with those runs on the board. And I think, somewhere deep down, playing at home, excitement, nerves, pressure has all come together. And in the end, it started from that Rohit Sharma dismissal. Rohit gone for 47. And then, there was a bit of phase where we saw the 2 batsmen there in the middle, KL Rahul and Virat, trying to rebuild. And I think in the middle, when we lost that fifth wicket when Virat was back in the pavilion, sending Ravindra Jadeja ahead of Sky. I think was, the team management must be thinking of getting a left-right combination there, and Ravindra Jadeja being the local boy from the state of Gujarat, maybe have given him an edge over Suryakumar Yadav. But I think there we missed a trick or two. What happened was neither was Jadeja settled, while KL Rahul was collecting those runs, and things suddenly dried up, and Australians suddenly looked like, not ready to give a run away. It almost looked like, they were like Supermen all around, 20 fielders on the field. And from there on, it became difficult. And to bowl out India, especially in subcontinent conditions on such a track is surely, something that will be difficult to digest. But that's the fact of the day. We'll have to now back our bowlers to come to the party and maybe trouble the Australians, because they're going to come quick fire. They're going to try. It's Rohit Sharma 2 times. Both Travis Head as well as David Warner are going to come and try and unsettle our bowlers. So it's going to be a good ask, and it's going to be a tough situation. I think it's a tough situation for the bowlers, but I think that's where they excel. And we'll have to wait and watch, just like the Australians, though they were pretty slow in getting that and slow balls in, which troubled even Suryakumar Yadav. Can the Indian bowlers try something similar to put the Australians on the mat is something worth looking out for.
So we are hoping that the Indian bowlers will come to the party and will just try to restrict the Australian batting lineup. We are also joined by Tapas, our correspondent at the ground zero in Ahmedabad, who is covering this mega event. Tapas, the way we are hoping that the kind of form Indian batsmen were there, we are hoping that it will be a huge score there on the board. But the kind of performance Australia delivered here, we can say that India is looking 20-30 runs short here at this venue. So what strategy do you think India will adopt to restrict this mighty Australian team here at the Narendra Modi Stadium?
Right, so there are two parts of this. The first is the way how India went about their business. You understand that Australian bowlers are good. You have Mitchell Starc, you have Josh Hazlewood, you have Pat Cummins and Adam Zampa. They all went, apart from apart from Josh Hazlewood, everybody went less than a 6 run per over. In fact, Pat Cummins and Adam Zampa had a run rate of 3.40 and 4.40. In their 10 overs, they conceded 34 and 44 respectively. So, but what about the fifth bowler? The fifth bowler combined might of Glenn Maxwell, Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head. Now, Glenn Maxwell, I'm just giving you a stat. Glenn Maxwell in his 6 over has conceded 35 runs. Mitchell Marsh in his 2 overs conceded 5 runs. Travis Head in his 2 overs conceded 4 runs. So, you imagine 35 and 9. So, not in 10 overs they couldn't make make these Australian bowlers count, and that is where probably Indian batsmen missed out a trick or two. If they would have gone ahead and targeted this fifth bowler option of Australia, we probably would have got that 30-40 runs that we were talking about. We are as Anil and Ajay Mehra also mentioned that probably we are 30-40 runs short. So if you would have targeted the fifth bowler option, this wouldn't have happened. Now coming back, India have posted the runs. Australia have to chase. No matter how good you are, you have to chase down 240, and in a final, that too in such kind of a partisan crowd, it is not going to be an easy work. So how to go about it? The first couple of overs, especially the 5-6 overs, are going to be very crucial for a simple reason. If Indian bowlers, the spacer, can maintain their line and length and can get both Warner and Travis Head out in the first 5-6 overs, we will be looking at a scenario where it will be easy for India to go about their business in a much better manner. So that's a huge point I'm trying to make here. The middle order, Australian middle order, have been tested earlier and they have been found wanting. So if Indian pacers can get that early inroad, then it's game on for India, because you have Ravindra Jadeja. He's playing in his home ground. He knows the pitch. In fact, we were talking to some of the local people out here, local curators also. They said that if India scored 250, 260, it's a defendable score. So we probably 20-30 runs short again, as I mentioned. But even then, with Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav bowling in tandem, we will see. And remember, India has 5 bowler option. Unlike Australia, who had a 4 bowler option, we have 5 bowler option. And if required, Rohit Sharma can also work his magic. He has 2 IPL hat tricks to his name. So it is time for India to stand up and be counted. This is the final. It can't get any bigger than this. And this is the time the bowlers have to come to the party.
So definitely our bowlers has performed in this tournament, and they showed that how they can tackle the opponent batsmen. And Ajay, if we talk about this match, the way we are hoping that today Surya will fire, and the way he was giving strike to the tail-enders, do you think that it was according to the way he is known for hard hitting, today he didn't show that part of his game?
Honestly, Narayana felt, as Anil rightly mentioned, that the batting order change really didn't work for India because, Surya had to come in at his normal position because Ravindra Jadeja was sent up the order instead of him. I think that really didn't work because once Jadeja got out, he's always trying to farm the strike. He was batting with the tail-enders. It was always going to be tough for Suryakumar Yadav. But again, you have to mention for Surya that, the kind of form that he's maintained in T20 cricket. In one-day cricket, it's been tough for him. It hasn't been easy for him. So I think, it was a struggle for him. He could have batted much better, much more sensibly because, he's a game changer. He can win you matches. But today, again, credit to Australia, just the way they bowled. I also thought, Australia were very, very good on the field. They were very smart. Those slides, those dives, that catch of Travis Head was outstanding. So I think credit to Australia as well, because they came with a plan. They had a game plan, and that really was well executed by them. But overall, I really thought that Suryakumar Yadav hasn't really lived up to the potential, in one-day cricket as compared to T20 cricket.
So true, as you mentioned, that the way they fielded the Australian team has saved many runs, and the catch of Rohit Sharma that Travis Head took was exceptional. And we all know the philosophy that catches win matches. We are also joined by our correspondent Abhishek. Abhishek, the way India batted at one point of time when Rohit Sharma was there was a good power play for India. But after that, suddenly, what went wrong?
Right, Narayan. If you see, India were 80 for 2 after the first power play when Rohit Sharma was going great guns. But then Rohit Sharma got out, and then Shreyas Iyer also got out earlier. And if you see, from 11 to 40, India scored only 2 boundaries. And you got to credit, like Ajay Mehra is also saying, that you got to credit how Australia, they put up a superb show in the fielding. I mean, they didn't drop any catch, they didn't do any misfield, and they were tremendous. I mean, they gave more than 100% on the field. And Virat Kohli scored 54. People will raise questions on how the strike rate of KL Rahul also, he scored at a strike rate of 67. But they got a good start. I mean, they could not capitalize. But yes, a lot will depend on Indian bowlers now. India is definitely 20-25 runs short, and if Dew also comes into picture, then things could be different, because the reason why Pat Cummins decided to bowl first on this wicket, and that too in the high pressure game in the finals, that's only because of the Dew factor. And if Dew comes into picture, yes, India are definitely 20-25 runs short, and if Dew comes into picture, and it will not be easy for the Indian bowlers. Remember, they have only 5 bowlers, and Australia, we all know how smartly Pat Cummins used his bowlers. We talk about Adam Zampa, Mitchell Marsh, the opener Travis Head. Credit to Pat Cummins, way he rotated his bowlers. But yes, first few overs will be very important. We have seen in the tournament that Indian bowlers, the trio of India, Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Shami, who have taken 54 wickets in the tournament so far, they have done well. They have got the purchase in the first 10 overs. But yes, few wickets and few early inroads will be very, very important. Because David Warner and Travis Head, we saw in the semi-finals also, they were going great guns, and they score at a very good average. I mean, they don't defend the ball, whatever the pitch is. So first few overs will be very important. But yes, a lot will depend on the Indian trio, fast bowling trio, and a lot will depend on Mohammad Shami also. And I'm at Amroha, Mohammad Shami's village, and some locals are with us. And let me talk to his cousin. कैसे देखना चाहेंगे? बहुत कुछ सब उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि मोहम्मद शमी पर ही काफ़ी कुछ निर्भर करता है. और होस्ट ब्रॉडकास्टर को भी हमने देखा कि मोहम्मद शमी की क्लिपिंग्स दिखा रहे थे। 240 थोड़ा सा कम स्कोर है और गेंदबाजों पर अब काफ़ी कुछ निर्भर करता है।
जी बिल्कुल, 240 थोड़ा सा कम है, लेकिन ये बॉलिंग पिच है तो इंशाल्लाह हमारे शमी भाई जो है विकेट लेंगे और भी बॉलर विकेट लेंगे। फील्डिंग अगर अच्छी रही तो जीतेंगे इंशाल्लाह।
लेकिन शुरू के जो झटके हैं, शुरुआती झटके काफ़ी ज़रूरी होंगे और मोहम्मद शमी को बार बार दिखा भी रहे थे जब इंडिया बल्लेबाजी भी कर रही थी, जब टेल एंडर्स बल्लेबाजी कर रहे थे तो मोहम्मद शमी को बार बार दिखा रहे थे, तो काफ़ी उम्मीद उनसे है। अगर उन्होंने वैसा प्रदर्शन नहीं किया तो हम कह सकते हैं कि चीज़ें मुश्किल हो सकती हैं भारतीय टीम को।
बिल्कुल मुश्किल हो सकती हैं। पावर प्ले
शमी के साथ साथ बुमराह और सिराज और 2 स्पिनर्स जो हमारे हैं उन पर भी काफ़ी कुछ निर्भर करता है।
बिल्कुल निर्भर करता है, कुलदीप यादव पे निर्भर करता है, अच्छी बॉलिंग है उनकी। और बुमराह,
आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे, आप आगे आइए थोड़ा, क्या कहना चाहेंगे कि थोड़ा हम 20-25 रन शॉर्ट हैं और काफ़ी कुछ निर्भर करता है अब भारतीय गेंदबाजी पर?
हमें तो यही लगता है कि भारतीय अरे इंडिया जीत जाएगा जो भी कुछ है। इंडिया में बॉलर भी अच्छे हैं, सिराज, शमी और जसप्रीत बुमराह, इसीलिए हम लोग करते हैं कि इंडिया जीत जाएगा।
Right, Narayan, yes, India, they are also agreeing to this fact that yes, India are 20-25 runs short, they are below par, but yes, I mean, they all think and they all believe that India will still win the match and they'll lift the title also after 12 years.
So fans are here hopeful that India will win the match and our pace trio will just wreak havoc at the Narendra Modi Stadium. So we are also hoping that our pacers, our bowlers will do that thing. Coming back to you, Anil. Anil, if you take a look, considering the today's playing condition, today's situation, do you think that India should have tinkered with their playing 11 today?
Well, I think, that's what the Australian camp indicated, or experts from Australia who are covering this particular World Cup final indicated that, India, if India didn't go into the match with a change of getting Ashwin into the playing 11, that's what prompted Pat Cummins, on winning the toss, deciding to field first on that particular track. And I think, sometimes, especially in these conditions, when Australians are susceptible to spin, we have seen them struggle against, Shamsi and Maharaj in that game in Kolkata. But that was a different pitch altogether. But the Australians have, found to be a bit iffy when it comes to playing spin bowling. And the two good players who are, good at tackling spin, Labuschagne as well as Smith, are not in the best of form in this particular edition of the World Cup. So it could be a good contest between bat and ball. But I think, there was an opportunity to tinker. But Rahul Dravid, the coach, had very earlier, when India were playing Netherlands on the eve of that game, he said it's a narrow-minded approach now to winning the title and not about giving opportunities. And he's got his final 11 there very much in his head, and he's not going to, tamper with the winning combination. And he got the same team there back on the ground for that game in Bangalore and followed that up with the semi-final and final. So I think, it's about getting the right horse for the right course. And I think somewhere, in hindsight, when the match is over, that could be a point of discussion. But surely there was an opportunity for India to experiment because Siraj was going for a lot of runs. Siraj was not economical. He was getting the wickets, but he was not economical. And the Australians, are comfortable playing pace. So it could have been a likely option. But, that having said, now is not the possibility, or now is not the point to, you can always contemplate over it, but now's not the point to talk about that. The resources available there, the 5 bowlers in the middle, know what the batsmen have put on the board. 241 is what they are supposed to defend. I think the bowlers need to, pump themselves up. What the captain and the coach says in the mid-innings break will be a lot of, will be important in the way the team comes out and performs there in the world's largest cricketing stadium.
So hoping that India bowlers will do miracle here. And coming back to Tapas, you take a look that after Hardik Pandya was injured, India went for a strategy of 5 bowlers and India never felt a need of the 6th bowler throughout the tournament. So today, do you think that shortcoming is a shortcoming, or India may feel need of a 6th bowler here in this crucial match?
No, actually not. I don't think so. In fact, if you take a close look at most of the teams, including Australia, you realize that they have 4 specialist bowlers, and one, and the other, the 10 overs there, they try to fill it through the part-time bowlers or somebody who can roll their arm over. So I'm not too sure. I think they have gone ahead with 6 batsmen, including KL Rahul. If you take into consideration the fact that he's purely a batsman who actually can do wicket keeping, and you have 5 bowlers, that's the winning combination that worked for you in the last 10 matches. So the idea is very simple. If 6 batsmen can't do your work, then the 7 batsmen can't do it. If 5 bowlers can't do it, then 6 bowlers also can't help you. So that is exactly how they try to go about it. Hardik Pandya gives you a lot of option. He provides you that depth in the batting. He also provides you the depth in the bowling, but he is not there. And the other person who has come in, Mohammad Shami, is a specialist bowler, and he has shown in the last 6 matches that he can, you can count on him. He has taken 23 wickets in the last 6 matches, so, and that's another record. And his last match in the semi-final, he has taken 7 wickets. So you have to give our bowlers the chance. Now the second innings will kickstart. The due, as Ajay mentioned, it will take, it will come into effect after 8:30, if at all it does come into effect. I'm sure there will be some due, but how much impact it will have on the bowlers, that remains to be seen. We've been talking about due in Gujarat for a long period of time. But again, the point remains that Australia has to score 241 to win. Now, if India, and they remember, India has 5 bowlers, India have the firepower. If they can make it early inroads, it's not going to be easy, considering the fact that it's a big ground, first. Second, it's a slow and turning pitch. And third, and more importantly, chasing in a final, it is a very difficult proposition. It's not that easy. So if keeping all these 3 combinations intact, and we have 5 bowlers, as I mentioned, you require 5 bowlers.
True.
If imagine you had 6 batsmen, and they only scored 260, 270 runs, then you would have thought that, well, we should have had a 5 bowler option. Then we could have put more pressure, because the 4th bowler, see, again, as I mentioned, just a while back. So you had Australia had 4 bowler option, and Maxwell, Marsh, they actually got through the overs so quickly, and Indian team didn't have a clue that how they managed to get through those 10 overs and didn't cost much run. So those things need to be taken into consideration. Right now, the focus of Team India should be like rest. We have scored 240. Opposition has to score 241. Let's make it difficult for them.
Yes, if for some Indian bowlers, the Australian bowlers go to the particular bowler, in that case, our part-timers need to rise to the occasion. Coming back to you, Anil, if you take a look in this tournament, Indian team were the most successful team in the power plays, whether it is batting, whether it is bowling. But so today, in this match also, the power play, if we talk about India's bowling sense, it's going to be a mantra of success for Indian team.
Well, right, from batting as well as bowling, the way India has approached power play has been something that's been a revelation in the last 10 matches. And even today, if you see the 9 overs that went by, even after we lost Gill pretty early, the way Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli consolidated, it looked like 100 was on the, 100 was very much in the arc inside the first 12 overs of play. But suddenly when, Rohit went back to the pavilion, that's when speed breakers happened. From the 9th over almost to the 25th or the 26th over, we didn't have a boundary. So that clearly, says or speaks volumes about the way the Australians dried up those runs for India. Australians were all over the Indian batsmen. They managed to get those important breakthroughs at crucial junctures, and that never let Indians off the hook. The Indians have been stupendous in the way they have gone about scoring those runs in the previous matches, thanks to Rohit getting those, fabulous starts for them, those quick fire 35, 40s. Rohit did that today again, but, it was for the other batters to follow. And Shreyas in the last 2 games has been just, playing to the tee. Today, Shreyas's departure quite early after scoring 4, nicking 1 ball behind to the keeper, actually opened the doors for that Indian middle order to be tested. And on the day they were tested, we were found to be a bit short. But I still believe 240 on this particular track could be an interesting contest between bat and ball. Remember, we've got 241 on the board, and Australia have managed to restrict India with just 4 bowlers in their ranks. We've got 5 there, and we know that we've got the crowd behind us. So it could be a great contest between bat and ball, but we firmly need to believe that we can defend this score. If you can do that, I think you have a match on your cards.
So if we have belief, definitely we can do this. Tapas, a final question to you. If we take a look throughout the tournament in the way India played, so today, the way they have played throughout the tournament, today also, we are hoping that they can replicate that performance here. So what do you say? What you have met with the fans? What's the opinion of the fans regarding India's inning, and what are they hoping that how Australia is going to deal with it?
Right. I understand. Nara, it's very interesting. India has followed a particular template all throughout the World Cup. This is a 10 match, and the last 10 matches they have, shown a particular template. Aussies probably understood that, and they try to, break that particular template. But again, as I mentioned, India has scored 240. Aussies have to score 241. Plain and simple. How to stop it? India has the bowling power. India has the bowling resources. Now it's time. You have seen in the earlier matches also against Sri Lanka and other teams that whenever Indian bowlers were called for for their own quota of work, they have stood up and they have made it count. So this time also big time. Every World Cup, be it 83, in 2011, every time, the bowlers have to win matches. Plain and simple. Every time you win a match, it is the bowler who has to take wicket. They have to contain the batsman. So this time also, starting with Mohammad Shiraz and Bumrah, and they will start the proceeding as usual. The template is set, and then Mohammad Shami coming in as a first change, and then the spinners take over. If we can manage to get the breakthrough at the top of the order, it won't be easy for Aussies. Due or no due, it's going to be a match on, and it will be interesting to see how Aussies handle this kind of pressure. Narayan.
And thanks Tapas and thanks Anil for joining us and giving a perspective on this high-octane clash between the two heavyweights of the world cricket, Australia and India, and they are playing at the iconic Narendra Modi Stadium, and we are hoping that the way the Indian bowlers have performed so far, then they can replicate that performance here also. So that's all in this edition, in this special mid-inning broadcast on the ICC Cricket World Cup. Stay tuned for a riveting exploration of the ICC World Cup finals, pivotal moments on DD India. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.